antennas, right? Now study of antennas you have done in the theory, you have at least seen what are the different types of antennas. Few of them we are going to study today in detail here. Fine. So different antenna types I have just listed here. You have dipole antenna, in which we are going to see two different antennas here, folded dipole and dipole antenna. Now dipole antenna, everyone knows it will look like this. It has two arms, an extended version of a transmission line. Okay, ideally it should be fed through a balloon, because dipole is a balance feed network. If you just recall, dipole is a balance feed network, and that's why you require a balance feeding mechanism to feed a dipole antenna. Unbalanced feed is plus to 0 or 0 to minus. A single polarity supply is there, whereas over here it is a dual polarity supply. It's a balance feed network. So dipole, it consists of balance feed. Now what you are going to do with this? Remember, antenna is all wavelength specific. All the dimensions of the antenna, they are all wavelength specific. Hence, whatever you design at 1 GHz is not the same at 2 GHz or 10 GHz. So in this study of antenna, you are not going to design anything, but at least you are going to understand the structure, and then you are going to measure its frequency. So first equate the length of the dipole to half the wavelength, because that is the practical example of a dipole antenna. Dipole antenna you can take of any length, right from lambda by 10 to 2 lambda, but depending upon the length, the radiation pattern changes. Of course, those things you will be doing it in linear wire antenna module. So here we are considering a lambda by 2 length dipole antenna. So equate the length of a dipole end to end length to lambda by 2 and calculate the frequency. How you calculate that? L is equal to lambda by 2, which is equal to C by 2F. So you calculate the frequency. Now the next parameter which you are going to study here is the wire diameter. Lot of characteristics of the antenna depends on the wire diameter. So if you take 1 mm thicker wire or 4 mm thicker wire, characteristics of the antenna will change. What do you mean by those characteristics? Impedance as well as sometimes frequency. Okay, so you need to measure this diameter and express that as a function of operating wavelength. Right? So whatever frequency you are calculating here, that F, convert it to lambda, then express D by lambda. Express D by lambda. So you are making it more generalized. Same dipole antenna, if you want to design at some other frequency, diameter according to that required wavelength you will select. Okay? Remember, it is a electrical thickness of the dimensions what we are considering. We are not considering the actual value or physical value of that diameter. It's an electrical parameter, and hence we are going to express that in terms of D by lambda. So these are the two parameters which are going to study for a dipole. Now the next variation is your folded dipole antenna. Okay, folded dipole antenna will have a closed loop structure like this. Okay, fine. Here folded dipole configuration is used for impedance matching. Okay, because earlier days TV sets, if you recall the Yagi antenna, from that the signal used to be coming to your TV sets. So that wire used to have around 300 ohm impedance. Now the dipole impedance is 72 ohm if the length of the dipole is lambda by 2. So for that the VSWR will be equal to 300 divided by 72, around 3.5 approximately. Okay, so that impedance matching is not realized. To do that impedance matching, folded dipole configuration was developed, and using that impedance was raised by a factor of n square, where n is the number of elements in that dipole. How many number of elements are there? 1 and 2. So here for a folded dipole configuration which is there, 2 elements are there. So the impedance gets scaled by a factor of 4, which is equal to, now how much it will be? 4 into 72. How much it comes out to be? right? 288.
Yes, sir.
So 300 divided by 288, somewhere around 1.2 or something. So VSWR is acceptable. So that's why folded dipole antenna was developed. Okay, so that you are going to study. Next is your directional antenna variations. That is a Yagi antenna. Now different variations are there. Just understand the Yagi structure first. This is a dipole antenna, the fed dipole, a fed element. Next to that, you have a bigger wire. Okay, you have a bigger wire, and then following are the smaller wires. Now, what this is called as? This is called as a reflector, and these are called as the director. Now, as I said here, they are the directional antennas of a dipole variation. So, here a dipole is a omnidirectional pattern characteristics, right? So, it has a circular pattern or non-directional characteristics. To make it directional, this additional arrangement is done. Okay. Now, here I am not going to the basics of how Yagi antenna works, how number of elements in the Yagi will change. Maybe sometime in the class we will explain you that. But here, by putting number of wires here and here, we are going to enhance the radiation, directional radiation pattern characteristics of a dipole antenna. So these are called as reflector. This is called as director. Understood? So here everything is wavelength specific. So this is the active element. These are a non-active element. Active means directly fed element, and they are not fed elements, right? So this is a variation of 5-element Yagi. Okay, there will be a variation of 7-element Yagi where 2 more directors will be added. Okay, reflector is generally a single one. Adding 1 more reflector does not changes the directional properties of the antenna much. Okay, hence we consider only 1 reflector and many directors. Fine. So this is a directional Yagi Uda antenna. You can have 24-element Yagi also, and the gain changes accordingly. Okay. Now the next category is your loop antenna. Okay, this is a circular loop and this is your rectangular loop. There are 2 categories here: smaller loop and larger loop antennas. Now smaller and larger are always a wavelength specific. In smaller loop antenna, your circumference is much smaller than operating wavelength. That's why it is a smaller loop antenna. Everything is wavelength specific. Whereas in larger loop, it is equal to lambda. It is equal to lambda. That is called as a larger loop, and the radiation pattern changes accordingly. More details on that, of course, we are going to cover it in the theory classes. Okay, so this is the 2 types of loop antenna which are going to be there. And here, what you are going to do, equate the length of the dipole, equate the length of the loop circumference to lambda by 2 and calculate the frequency. Same thing you are going to do it for a rectangular or square loop antenna. Okay, so this is a loop antenna. Then next is a slot antenna. A slot antenna is basically a complementary of dipole antenna. So here, if you just try to draw a geometry, a slot antenna will look like this. This is a slot which is fed on the 2 ends. Okay, and again, similar to your dipole antenna, the length of the slot equals lambda by 2. Antenna impedance, antenna bandwidth will be dependent on this width. So again, width is an important design parameter here. Okay, slot antenna is basically, as I said earlier, it is a complementary of dipole. Fine. Then next variation is a horn antenna. Okay, now this is basically a horn antenna design. Okay, so it consists of 2 parts. This is the waveguide section. Okay, here it is fed over here. You can see the connector. Okay, and then inside that you will see a wire. Can you see that? Okay, that is a monopole antenna. Okay, that is a monopole antenna. So waveguide is fed using a monopole antenna, and the flaring is done. Okay, flaring means what? The dimensions at over here and the dimensions over here are 2 different. flaring of the dimension is done. Okay, so